Most people will never have power and they don't even realize why.
Wow, okay, starting the episode off with a gut punch, Gabriel. Welcome, everyone, to the Behavior Code. I'm Maria.
And I'm Gabriel. And that opening statement, it's a harsh truth, but it's one we need to dissect. Because when people hear the word power, they immediately think of, money or a huge social media following or being a CEO.
Right, or just being like the smartest person in the room, intelligence.
Exactly. And we're here to tell you that's all wrong, or at least it's a tiny, incomplete fraction of the picture. True power is something else entirely. It's quieter, it's deeper, and honestly, it's far more attainable than $1 billion.
So, what you're saying is our entire definition is probably wrong.
I'm saying society sold us a convenient illusion. But by the end of this episode, you won't just see the illusion, you'll see the code behind it. You'll see exactly why some people seem to control everything. And it has nothing to do with their bank account.
That's a bold promise. The keys to the kingdom, so to speak. I think for a lot of people, power feels like this distant, almost unattainable thing, something reserved for a select few. Okay, I'm hooked, so let's start there. What do people get wrong about power? What's the biggest illusion?
The most common one is that loud equals powerful. The person who talks the most in a meeting, the person with the flashiest car, the one who's always, at the center of attention. We mistake volume for influence.
That's so true. We think the person dominating the conversation is the one in charge, but often they're the most insecure person in the room. They're trying to prove something.
Precisely. And the other one is that rich equals powerful. Now, money gives you options, no doubt. It's a tool. But I'm sure we can all think of incredibly wealthy people who seem desperate, needy. They're controlled by public opinion, by the next deal, by their own fear of losing it all. That is not power.
Okay, so if it's not being loud and it's not just about money, what is it? What's the truth? That's a fantastic point. It reminds me of those billionaire tech moguls who, despite all their wealth, seem to get into petty arguments on social media. They're constantly trying to manage public perception, reacting to every little criticism. They have immense financial resources, but they seem to have zero emotional control. They're not powerful, they're just loud and rich.
The truth is this: power is control, full stop. Specifically, it's control over three things: perception, emotion, and outcome.
Perception, emotion, and outcomes. Okay, break that down for me. Like, what does that look like in a real world scenario? Say, a workplace meeting.
Great example. Okay, a project goes wrong. Everyone is panicking. The loud person starts blaming people. That's a loss of emotional control. The person who over-explains is trying to manage perception, but they're doing it from a place of fear. The powerful person, they're calm.
Right.
They listen to the chaos, they let the emotion in the room settle, and then they speak calmly about a solution. They control their own emotion, which in turn influences everyone else's perception of them as a leader, and ultimately they guide the outcome. They didn't have to yell, they just had to have control.
That makes so much sense. It's the same in relationships, too. The person who can stay calm during an argument, who doesn't get drawn into the drama, they hold the power in that dynamic. They're not reacting, they're responding.
You've got it. It applies everywhere: social settings, negotiations, family dynamics. It's a universal code. To make it even simpler, we can break power down into three core types. Once you see these, you'll start noticing them everywhere.
Okay, let's hear them.
The first is perceived power. This is the most superficial layer. It's about how people see you. Your job title, the way you dress, how you carry yourself. It's the instant judgment people make.
So the whole dress for the job you want advice isn't just a cliche, it's actually a strategy for building perceived power?
It absolutely is. You're signaling to others how you deserve to be treated before you even say a word. But it's fragile. It can be shattered in an instant by the second type, which is behavioral power.
Which is.
How you act under pressure. You can look like a CEO, but if you have a meltdown because your lunch order's wrong, all that perceived power evaporates. Behavioral power is about your actions. Are you calm or reactive, proactive or defensive? This is where people show their true strength, or lack of it.
Right, it's about composure. The person who remains composed when everything is falling apart instantly becomes the leader, regardless of their title.
That leads us to the third and most important type, emotional power. This is the master key. It's about who controls the emotions in the room. Not just your own emotions, but the emotional state of the interaction itself.
What do you mean by that?
Think about a skilled negotiator. They don't get flustered when the other side gets angry. They don't get overly excited when they get a good offer. They maintain an even keel. By doing so, they anchor the emotional tone of the entire exchange. Everyone else starts reacting to their state of calm. And this is the key line I want everyone to remember. The person who controls the emotion controls the situation.
Wow, that is huge. Because most of us spend our entire day just reacting. We're on an emotional roller coaster driven by emails, by other people's moods, by traffic. We're not in control of anything.
And that, Maria, is why most people have no power.
So let's dig into that. If emotional power is the key and it's all about control, what are we doing that gives that control away so easily? Why do most people feel so powerless?
It boils down to one fundamental behavior: seeking external validation.
The need to be liked.
The need to be liked, the need to be approved of, the need to be seen as nice or smart or correct. This neediness is the root of almost all powerless behavior.
Okay, give me an example.
Over-explaining.
I'm so guilty of this. You say no to something, and then you immediately feel this overwhelming urge to give a 5-minute speech justifying why. Oh, I can't make it on Saturday because my cousin has this thing, and then I have to pick up the dog, and the traffic will be bad.
Right, and what is that speech really saying? It's saying, please approve of my reason. Please don't be mad at me. Please still like me. A powerful person understands that no is a complete sentence. They don't need to justify their boundaries.
Because they're not afraid of being disliked for it. That's a huge one. So many people are terrified of someone having a negative opinion of them.
And that fear paralyzes them. It makes them say yes when they mean no. It makes them apologize when they've done nothing wrong. It makes them weak. Because here's the brutal truth. Every time you need something from someone else, you give them power over you.
Even if that something is just their approval, their validation.
Especially if it's their validation. If you need my approval to feel good about yourself, then I control how you feel. I have all the power. You've just handed it to me.
Okay, so let's flip it then. We've talked about what powerless people do. Let's paint a picture of the other side. What is the actual behavior of powerful people? What do they do differently?
Well, the first thing, and this is counterintuitive to most, is they speak less and observe more.
So they're not the ones dominating the conversation like we said earlier.
Almost never. Why? Because when you're talking, you're giving information away. When you're listening, you're gathering it. They understand that the person with the most information has the advantage. So they watch, they observe dynamics, they let other people reveal their motivations and insecurities.
And related to that, I'm guessing is the next point, they're okay with silence.
They don't rush to fill it. Silence makes most people incredibly uncomfortable. It's the vacuum. And the person who feels the need to rush in and fill that vacuum reveals their anxiety, their need for comfort. A powerful person can ask a question and then just wait.
And let the other person talk themselves into a corner?
Often, yes. Another key behavior, they are okay being misunderstood.
Oof, that's a tough one. Most of us have a deep need to be seen correctly, to have our intentions understood.
And it's another form of seeking validation. Powerful people have a strong internal sense of who they are. They don't need the entire world to agree with them or get them. They're willing to let people be wrong about them. This gives them immense freedom. And finally, they don't chase.
Don't chase people, deals, opportunities?
All of the above. They attract. Chasing signals neediness. It puts the other person or the opportunity on a pedestal. Powerful people operate from a place of value. They present their case, show their worth, and allow others to come to them. It's the core difference between powerful, attractive behavior and needy, repellent behavior. Calm versus reactive. And a lot of what we're describing here, it isn't even about what you say, it's nonverbal. The real signals of power are often completely silent.
I love that. Silent power signals. Like what?
Well, steady eye contact is a huge one. Not an aggressive stare, but a calm, focused gaze. It signals confidence and shows that you are present and unintimidated. People who constantly look away are signaling submission or discomfort.
Okay, what else?
Another key behavior, using pauses in speech. We just talked about being comfortable with silence between speakers, but this is about silence within your own sentences. Instead of rushing through your words with a lot of ums and uhs, you speak deliberately. You pause for effect. It makes what you say land with more weight. It forces people to listen.
It signals that you're so confident in what you're saying, you're not afraid people will interrupt you. You own the space.
You own the space. That's a perfect way to put it. The next, of course, is emotional control, your facial expression, your posture. When you receive bad news, does your face fall? Do you tense up? Or do you maintain a neutral, controlled expression? That poker face isn't about being unfeeling, it's about not giving away information and control.
And the last one, which I think is maybe the most important, is not reacting immediately. Someone sends you a provocative email. The powerless response is to fire back a reply in 30 seconds, full of emotion. The powerful response is silence.
You take an hour, you take a day. You choose when and how you will respond. By controlling the timing, you take back control of the entire interaction. It's a profound shift, and it really brings home the central insight here. Power is so often about what you don't do.
Don't react immediately. Don't fill the silence. Don't over-explain. Don't give your emotions away for free. It's a game of subtraction, not addition.
Exactly.
This is all fascinating because it feels like it's mostly about building our own internal sense of power. But what about when other people, actively try to take it from us? Because that happens all the time.
Does. And usually it's through manipulation tactics designed to trigger an emotional reaction in you so you'll give up control. There are three classics you'll see everywhere:
Lay them on me.
guilt, urgency, and social pressure. Guilt is the classic, if you really cared about me, you would. It's designed to make you feel like a bad person for holding a boundary. Urgency is the used car salesman's favorite. This amazing offer expires in 1 hour. It's meant to short-circuit your critical thinking by inducing panic.
Right. Manufactured panic. And social pressure?
Everyone else is doing it. What's wrong with you? It preys on our fundamental fear of being excluded from the tribe. All three are just tests. They're emotional attacks designed to see if you'll abandon your own position.
So, really, it's just people testing your boundaries all the time, whether they realize it or not.
Constantly. Your boss asks you to stay late, your friend asks for a loan, a salesperson tries to upsell you. They're all, in their own way, testing the strength of your frame. They're pushing on your boundaries to see if they'll hold.
And if you don't hold them, they just learn they can push you around.
Worse than that, they learn what you're worth. And this is the key moment I want to sink in. If you don't set your own boundaries, other people will assign your value for you, and it will always be lower than you deserve.
Okay, this has been an incredible diagnosis of the problem. We know what power is, what it isn't, how we lose it. Now, let's make it practical. Let's talk about the cure. How do we start today to build real power?
It starts with one principle that underlies everything else: detach from the outcome.
Meaning, you have to want something but be completely okay with not getting it.
Precisely. The moment you need the job, need the date, need the deal to go through, you have lost your power, because the person who is less attached to the outcome controls the dynamic. If you can walk away, you have leverage. If you can't, you are a hostage.
That is a difficult mindset shift, but I see why it's the foundation. So once we're working on that, what's next?
You put the other principles into practice. Actively practice being comfortable with silence. In your next conversation, ask a question and then just stop talking. See what happens. Next, you have to consciously stop seeking approval. Catch yourself when you're about to over-explain and just don't. Send the short email. Say no without a novel attached.
It feels like exposure therapy for people pleasers.
That's exactly what it is. And all of this works toward the final goal: building internal validation. You have to become your own source of approval. Your opinion of you has to matter more than anyone else's. It's a simple framework, really. Awareness of these dynamics, which is what we're giving you today, then active control over your own reactions, and finally, consistency in applying these principles until they become your default state. So, as we wrap this up, I think the biggest takeaway for me, the thing that reframes this entire concept, is a simple idea.
Go on.
Power isn't something you get, it's something you stop giving away.
There it is. It changes everything. It's not about being aggressive or dominant or taking something from others. It's about preserving what is already yours, holding on to your own control, your own frame, your own validation.
It's your default state. You were born with it. Life, society, and our own bad habits chip away at it. The journey isn't to build something new, but to reclaim what you've lost.
Well, this has been mind-blowing, and we hope for everyone listening, this gives you a new lens to see the world through. If this episode changed how you see people or how you see yourself, do us a favor and share it with someone who needs to hear it. This is the Behavior Code.
Thanks for listening.